Take a bow, Meredith. Take a bow. Because that was quite the performance. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Bonnie Scotch. Thank you so much for tuning into my video today. I wanted to bring you a review for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. This is season 5, episode 10. This episode was so good. It was hilarious, but it also annoyed me. Baby, when I tell you, Heather and Meredith were tap dancing on my last nerve. The very last one that I had. But anyway, before we get into this review, go ahead and hit the like button for me. When you hit the like button, not only is it a free way to support my channel, but it is also a way of letting YouTube know that I'm here and that you all are rocking with my commentary. So YouTube starts to shoot my content out to other viewers just like you, an audience who ordinarily would not get an opportunity to connect with my channel. Really quick church announcement before I get into this review. I just want to thank everybody who is newly subscribed to my channel. I got something like 65 subscribers in the last week, and I'm just so grateful. I am so deeply appreciative for you all. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, 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 thank you.
And I've been seeing some new names, some new comments. So I really feel like I'm going to hit 4K. Well, my goal is to hit it before Christmas. I would love to hit it before Christmas. A nice little Christmas gift to me. Let's go ahead and get into this review. So we start the episode with Mary planning a party. So the way production set up this entrance scene is very much like a fairy tale storybook. They're kind of turning the pages and narrating that Mary is putting this party together, essentially. We get a scene with Angie and her daughter, Electra. Baby, Electra is so over Angie, okay? Angie deems herself a helicopter mom, and then we learn a little bit later on in the episode exactly why that is. We're going to touch on that later. We have Lisa and Heather meeting up. I don't want to talk about this scene too much because they're just annoying to me at this point. Now, I have a supporter. I forget her name. I should have screenshotted it, but she tweeted me. She was like, sister, you better get Big Bob Pataki together. And when I tell you, I have not been able to unsee it. So she's Big Bob Pataki from here on out. Shout out to you. God, I wish I screenshotted her name. I should have screenshotted it. But shout out to you. You know exactly who you are. It's Big Bob Pataki from here on out. Anyway, this conversation is so annoying because Lisa is not relaying the story as it happened to Heather. But we knew that that wasn't going to happen, right? She's acting as though Bronwyn and her husband just came up out of nowhere and attempted to kick them off the trip. No, Lisa, you were wildin'. You were wildin' for respect. How you going to be on her trip barking at her and expect nobody not to say nothing to you? You're on their anniversary trip. Like, what is this? Your behavior is out of order. You are out of order. And you weren't even hearing what she was trying to say. Bronwyn and Todd outside on the patio together. He's sitting there with his arms folded and crossed. He loves to do that. He's like a big baby. Anyway, he says in the 10 years that we've been together, I've never seen you act that way this weekend. He said that her screaming back and forth with Lisa was a little bit ridiculous. She wasn't screaming, Todd. She raised her voice a little bit. And that's a part of the game. That's a part of Housewives. These women have these confrontations. They get into it. It gets a little loud. It's understood. You get what I'm saying? But here's my issue that I'm having with this. I don't like the way that he's chastising her. He's talking to her like he's her father. That's a grown-ass woman. If she felt like she needed to raise her voice to defend herself, then that's what she needed to do in that moment. Not only that, the biggest thing that's going on here, this is her job. This is her job. She's at work. So don't come in here acting like you run shit. Down at your job, down at the Palm Pilot office, that's where you run things, sir. This is Housewives. This is her domain. Either get with the program or you need to leave. That's the type of time I'm on. Here's another instance, and I said this in Real Housewives of Potomac. Y'all bring these men on the show and they don't be on the same agenda with y'all. They don't be on the same page. I don't like that. I don't like this. No, absolutely not. She's at work. She's at her gig. She's down to the Gigiana. You're not going to sit up here and tell me that you don't know that getting loud with a broad every once in a while is something that is necessary and vital to the show. Anyway, in this next scene, we have Angie and her dad. He's over at her house for dinner. I love the dynamic, the interactions that Angie has with her dad. Now, remember, Angie's mom had passed away when she was 8 years old, but it's in this scene that we learn that she actually had issues with alcoholism. Angie's dad took care of 7 kids on his own. Okay, y'all, the thought of taking care of one child makes me want to faint. So I can't imagine having to raise 7 kids on your own. And this is a big part of the reason that Angie is what folks like to call a helicopter mom. She's very protective. Angie says that she really missed out on the love that she gives to her daughter. She knows what it's supposed to feel like to be loved by your mom. She misses that she never got that relationship. She's just mulling over all of the things that she didn't get to have, and she's realizing that she is harboring a bit of resentment in her heart. She says that she's angry at times. She feels as though her mom left her. She doesn't want to feel that way. She wants to forgive, and, you know, she really needed her. I don't fault Angie for any of her feelings. I think that is completely valid. I think it's completely normal to have feelings of anger or resentment of like, why did you leave me? Why couldn't you just get better for us? You know what I mean? But she also says she understands that it's a disease, and she's still able to find empathy for her mom in this moment. But as a woman who very much needs her mom, I got choked up. I feel myself getting choked up right now. Ooh. Watching this back for the second time, I definitely got choked up, y'all. Let me just... All right, so now we are at Mary's breakfast at Tiffany's party. I actually think this is such a cute theme, y'all. I love a themed party. Love, love, love. I feel like I'm not invited to enough themed events. Like, I love a reason to get dressed up, but let it be a theme. Oh, please. I love anything that like involves like a little bit of a costume. Maybe it's the theater kid in me. Anyway, Bronwyn shows up first. She's in this really pretty yellow dress, and she has on like this clip-on feathered Audrey Hepburn bang that's kind of like feathered to the side, y'all. It is so cute. Bronwyn, she understood the task at hand, and she showed up. She showed up. Meredith comes in next with the most insane wayward ponytail I have ever seen on a white woman, okay? The clip-on bang was so far back on her head. Y'all, this is a woman in distress. That was a distress ponytail. Now, this is the second wayward ponytail that I have seen Meredith show up in. The first one was the Mob Wives party that Angie threw a couple episodes ago. Should we be worried? Lisa shows up in a blue jumpsuit. Y'all, I really wish she didn't come, okay? Because she's messing up the theme. It just threw my eye. I don't know. It's just like, why show up if you're not going to be in theme? It just feels so disrespectful. Whitney and Angie show up. They both look great. Big Bob Pataki comes in with a turtleneck sweater. I really wish her and Lisa had stayed home. They didn't dress for the event. It looks disrespectful to me. Heather goes on and greets everyone, says hello and hugs everyone, and skips over Bronwyn. Mad childish. Meanwhile, she's the one who's fully wrong here. How are you wrong and sassy? Ugh. And then, like, the way she's walking around and... like, she's so smug this entire episode. You can really tell that Heather thinks her ass weighs a ton. Angie says that she was a bit surprised to see Brittany's name on the table as a little place card holder. Mary says that she invited her over because she wanted her to know that she's not poor. Period. Heather says, thank you, Mary, for inviting everyone, because as we know, that didn't happen for the Palm Desert trip. This, y'all, was the exact moment that I wanted Bronwyn to get up and punch Heather in the face and hit her with the hook that Jen hit her with. Hook off on the other side on her face. Now, I'm not a person that condones violence, but y'all, if anybody needed their mouth slapped in this moment, it was Heather. Because shut up. You got up and you stormed out of that lady's house when she was trying to resolve things. How would you get an invite at that point? Now, I don't think you all are understanding just how badly Heather is pissing me off in this episode. Now would be a good time to pause the video, get down in the comments, and tell me what it is you think Heather is bringing to the show this season. Aside from indignance, passive aggression, haughtiness, and broad shoulders. You got up and stormed out, Heather. So, how would you get invited to her trip? You're still mad that you didn't get invited to a trip that you stormed out for when she was trying to resolve things for you? You don't even try to make sense. You just like being indignant. Then it's like, why would you want to be on a trip with somebody that you just got into it with? Why do you care that you didn't get invited when you were acting nasty to that girl? If you really wanted to be on the trip to go, oh, I'm a single girl and I was left out. If you wanted to be invited, then you would have resolved things with Bronwyn. You would have figured out a way so you wouldn't have to feel left out. But you didn't care to do that. So now we have Brittany telling the ladies how Mary is the only one who invited her to something this week. Everybody went on the trip. Nobody invited her. Then she called out Angie for bringing wine to her event. Whitney says, girl, you're drinking champagne right now. Angie says, I'm sorry, girl, but you're dating 3 guys and you drink, so please don't start this up. I said, get her, Angie. Get her. Because this whole double-minded world, this whole double life that you Mormons like to live, where you want to drink and party and jump up on a dick and do all of these things that you know goes against your religion, but then somebody comes and they show up in the way that you are used to showing up in your everyday life. I don't know what days Mormons go and worship. Well, let's say it's Saturday or whatever. On every day that's not Saturday, you want to be a hoe and an alcoholic. But Saturday is the day everything got to be all cleaned up and it has to be this whole facade. Bullshit. Bullshit, girl. Get out of my face with this. Angie, shut it right down. Then we get a confessional from Mary. She says, well, I don't know how many guys Brittany's dating, but I do know that Jared keeps sliding into my DM. Then they flash these DMs on the screen. Jared is like, oh, I was immediately connected to you as a daughter of God.
Does that mean something?
Now, you know when Brittany sees this, she's going to lose her shit, okay? She's going to have a meltdown. Brittany says, I'm on the edge because I feel excluded. Y'all, Brittany looks so greasy and grimy and dingy in this scene. Her face is greasy. Her hair is greasy. It's like she has volume at the root, but like the rest of her hair is not moving. Brittany, get it together, girl. So Heather brings up, I can't even remember how they got on this conversation, but Heather says to Bronwyn, well, why don't you have a prenup? Heather, shut your ass up and mind your business, because her not having a prenup only benefits her in the long run. So why are you bringing that up? And not only that, when you and your husband got divorced, didn't you get half? So why the next bitch can't get her shit? Heather, you're so fake. Ooh, I can't stand Heather. I cannot stand her. And y'all, Heather looks so smug in this scene. I just want to slap her face. I'm so sick of Heather. I'm done. I've had it. You know what I've had? It.
The up! I've had it with you. Go the home. I've had it officially.
So then Mary says to Heather, Bronwyn really does care about whether or not you guys get along. And you may not see it, but I actually see it. Bronwyn is like, girl, I even brought you a first class ticket. Heather's like, well, how could that be? You don't know my birthday. She's like, well, I got it from Whitney. She's like, well, nobody here knows my birthday. Whitney doesn't know it. I lie to everybody. It's like, girl, what is your problem for real? Oh, she is so loathsome. She is just absolutely abhorrent and repugnant. Then Lisa starts complaining about how she had the right coach. And, you know, Angie's like, well, we knew you weren't going to love that. You know, Lisa and Angie go back and forth for a little bit about that one. And Bronwyn is like, well, all your husbands got gifts. You got gifts. Why do you care so bad where you sat for, 67 minutes? This is bullshit. Heather says, well, if it doesn't matter to you where you sit for 67 minutes, why did you book yourself and your husband in first class and everyone in coach? Heather, who the fuck are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Bronwyn says, because it was my goddamn credit card. Shut it down, baby. When I tell y'all, I felt the Holy Ghost coursing through my spirit. I jumped up, and I felt my shoulders moving in this moment. Get her, Bronwyn, get her. Now, Bronwyn at this point says, I see how Heather tries to spin these women around, and I'm not going to be taken for a ride. She didn't exactly say that, but I'm paraphrasing. So Bronwyn has effectively clocked her tea, and Heather is mad about this, okay? Bronwyn says, every time I try to get down to the bottom of it, Heather changes what she's mad about. She's always moving the goalpost. She's always moving the line. And it's so true. Heather says, I know I'm coming on strong, but I'm just very hurt. Bronwyn says, look, I'm still open to getting to know you. I think you have a very wrong opinion of who I am, and I wanted to show you different, and we never got a chance to get there. In this moment, Heather finally settles down in her spirit. She says, you know, you don't want to hear me. Every time I try to talk to you, it's like you don't want to hear it. Heather looks so stupid in this scene. And then Heather starts going on about, well, I'm fiercely protective over my friendships. So now, of course, I'm like, why is Heather saying this? Is it because Bronwyn said something smart about Whitney in the car that you didn't like? But here's the tea. Here's the tea. Whenever Bronwyn said something smart about Whitney in the car, you just sat back and you were in the back seat like this. You didn't say a word. You didn't say anything, right? But then when you get in front of a crowd, when you get in front of the girls, you want to try to call her out. You're fake. You, Heather, were the one who wasn't on code. Because anybody talk about my cousin or my friend or anybody I love in front of me, you're getting checked immediately. You wouldn't ever feel brave or bold enough in your spirit to talk about nobody that I love in front of me. I don't give a damn who you are. You're going to get checked. And you didn't check her, right? So you let it go on, and then you turn around and you get in front of these girls and you want to act all brave and you want to puff your chest out, okay? You want to act like the Incredible Hulk, okay, all of a sudden. Heather is still going on and on about how she's heard that she didn't get invited. She's a single lady. Heather, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Brittany jumps up and she's like, well, what about me? I'm sick of this. Why are we having this kumbaya moment? Y'all, I'm so sick of her. I am tired of her. Tired. Everyone is like, girl, what is your problem? She's like, oh, well, you know, Bronwyn, I apologize. And Bron was like, why are you apologizing? Is it because you got called out, or is it because you're truly sorry? Then Mary settles the table down. She's like, everybody, look, let's just have a conversation in a civilized manner. I need everybody to just really hear each other. So Angie says to Meredith, I need to talk to you. The whole podcast situation with Sean, you know, I'm not feeling that great about it. Meredith is like, oh, here we go. So she starts off rude. Angie wasn't even rude. Meredith is like, well, I wanted to feel a level of resolve as well because this is about my child. Nobody was talking about your child. They were talking about how you were leveraging your child in the LGBT community to say that you weren't homophobic after you alluded to Sean being gay. Meredith says, you're going to go backwards with all of this stuff. You don't want to go backwards with me. If you want to go backwards, it's not going to be pretty for everybody. Meredith, who the fuck are you talking to? Angie says, are you threatening me? Meredith says, didn't I just say I don't want to do that? So Whitney is like, a threat is when you say, I don't want to go backwards, but if you want to, we can do that. And everybody's looking at Meredith crazy like, girl. And she keeps trying to like say, oh, well, I'm saying that I don't want to do that. Meredith, you want to play this game with words, but people are not stupid. And y'all get mad because y'all think that people are stupid and they don't fall for y'all's stupid games. Angie is explaining, well, you know what you said about my husband last year when you were saying, oh, you want to talk about husbands we can really go there. It didn't land well when you did that either. And so Sean was replying to the backlash that you got, because we actually got a lot of support from the LGBT community, and they were dragging you online. I didn't even know that happened, y'all. But I can imagine, because why would you do that? You're trying to air him out for being gay or being bisexual or whatever. But then you got caught out there. You wanted to try to clean it up and say, oh, my son is gay. But nobody was talking about your son in a disparaging way. Okay? They were talking about you trying to use your son to clean up what you said, to backpedal and pussy pot, to gaslight the general audience into thinking, well, I'm not that type of person. But if you weren't that type of person, why would you even bring up his sexuality or allude to it in any kind of way? Meredith, you're mad because people are not stupid. That's what the issue is. Meredith, you're missing that if you never mentioned anything about Sean's sexuality in the first place, we would never be having this conversation. Ultimately, you knew that bringing up Sean's sexuality would invite some type of scrutiny and ridicule to their door. So Angie is explaining to Meredith, look, when that happened, we did get a lot of support from the LGBT community. Meredith says, okay, I'm going to cut this off right now. The reason that she is cutting off this conversation is because she knows that Angie is right, and she understands that her argument actually defies all logic. Meredith knows this deep inside, so it's easier for her to get loud and not try to hear anything that Angie is saying, because she knows that it's true. Okay, she knows that she's making sense, and she doesn't like that. She starts yelling. She says, you have a consistent habit of denying. The clip bang at this point is completely askew on her head. Baby, this is what the clip bang was given. Baby, big askew. Yes. Angie stands up and she starts yelling at this point. Meredith is like, you want to go there? We can go there. She starts playing a clip of Sean on the phone, and she puts it in front of Whitney's face. She's like playing the clip like this in front of Whitney. Y'all, Whitney snatches the phone out of her hand, and she's like trying to quickly turn off the recording of Sean. Y'all, Meredith gets up and she snatches the phone back from Whitney. She says, don't grab my phone. Whitney is like, well, don't put your phone in my face. Y'all, in this moment, Whitney is redeeming herself for me. Now, I'm going to play it by ear with Whitney, because Whitney was one of my favorites in season 1, and then I ended up really disliking her. So we're going to see. We're going to play it by ear with Whitney, but I was like, ooh, is my girl back? Is my girl back? So they're still going back and forth at this point. Mary gets up and she starts yelling. She's like, if y'all don't stop this yelling in my house, y'all gotta leave. Meredith is getting flabbergasted. She gets up and she's like, well, if I'm asked to leave, I'm leaving. Mary is like, now, girl, you know I wasn't trying to tell you to leave. I'm just saying, if you gotta, yell in my house, then you gotta go somewhere else with that. I wasn't kicking you out. I just want y'all to stop. Meredith gets dramatic. She starts crying. This is the 1,000th time I've gotten attacked by this group.
And scene for the actress.
Mary says, thank God she took them bangs with her. This is Audrey Hepburn, not the Flintstones. Y'all, the way I guffawed when Mary said that. But anyway, y'all, that was the episode. It was really good. Go ahead and get down in the comments with me. Let me know how you felt about it. Hit the like button on your way out. Hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when I'm posting. And I will see y'all for the next one. Peace. This is... Peace, y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's something about this girl, man. From around my way. Ever try to hold back your